We had to adequately treat pain. Unfortunately, there was not a lot of evidence-based research at the time on how we were going to treat pain, but we had these great cancer drugs out there that were to make people's lives more comfortable in the life situations. So we decided we were going to start using those to treat chronic pain. What I tell you about the early 1900s, we had how many women addicted in the United States to opiates? If we go back throughout history, how many times have we seen other civilizations addicted to opiate-like products? So we're going to treat people over time, chronic, not acute, but chronic over time. We're going to treat them with opiates. What did we think was going to happen? I'm not a medical profession, but we didn't have a professional. But I do know if you use opiates long enough, you're going to get addicted. It's just the nature of what we know. History has told us. We didn't learn from history. Now there's a movement in the medical community that says, and I'm quoting a physician, a well-known physician in Central Ohio who treats pain. He got up at a conference and was addressing several pain management specialists and addressed them by simply saying, this 15-year experiment of treating pain using opiates has clearly been a failure. Now it's time to go back. And he said, now it's time for us to learn what these opiates do, the dangers of them, and use them in situations where they're appropriate, which may be in the use of treating long-term chronic pain, but we need research to back that up. And that's the movement. Education in the medical community has hit an all-time high on this issue. So hopefully what we see is much more responsible prescribing. And what I tell people, when we've looked at prescribers throughout Ohio, you can break it down into 3 groups. You have a percentage, which is probably 4 or 5%, who specialize in it. They do it right. They take care of their patients. They know when to treat them, when to prescribe opiates. Last resort, build them up to that. Nothing else will work. They start prescribing opiates. You have the bottom 2 to 3%, which are the ones that I get to deal with. And those are the ones that say, I've got a license to make money, and I don't care if I harm a patient or not. That's only about 2%, but they've done a lot of damage, and they've done a lot of damage here, Scioto County, all over the state. Those are the ones we prosecute, take their license, put them in prison. What is even scarier is that middle group, that other 90-some% that have the ability to prescribe, but may lack the education specifically to what opiates can do. And unfortunately, for years, the only education they were receiving were from pharmaceutical companies that were pandering their product off. And now the medical community has come back and said, we're going to educate our own and make sure they know the power that they have and how to use it. So that's the new movement. That's a great effort, and the medical community got there on their own without being forced by legislation or some other law to do it. So let's move past that. We're going to skip through this. 900% increase in 15 years. That's, Orman showed you this, 7 pills and 97 per person, 67 in 2010.